When we first spoke, it was right after I saw you on the Oprah Winfrey program, Super Soul Sunday. And I asked you back then about the Oprah effect. And I think a lot of people know it from a variety of ways, from selling books and things like that. 7 years later, looking back at that experience, like how do you feel about it now? How was that experience? And then 7 years later, how has it helped you, or you know, what did you learn from that experience?
For me, it's been a complete return to authenticity.
Hmm. What do you mean by that?
I'm back to the way I was before the interview.
Hmm.
I
Why is
think that
that?
I think that sometimes in life we have a passion, we build all of this momentum, and we begin to garner the attention of people who are in a place to amplify our message, and that's all well and good. However, we can never lose sight of the energy that got us there in the first place, the passion, the calling, the willingness to be of service. And I think what happens is, more often than not, especially in the Western world, is this commodification of people and personalities and brands and messages. And I think that what's very important for anyone who's just beginning out there to remember is that the more you stay true to who you are, stay in your lane and express what you've come here to share, and stay in that energy, stay in that frequency, stay in that place of enthusiasm in every moment, and not be willing to compromise who you are in order to have something, the more you'll realize that you don't have to, that you never needed to, that you can't miss what's meant for you, and that you will
Hmm.
always end up where you're meant to be to make the difference that you were born to make within your lifetime. And that isn't determined by anyone or anything outside of you.
Most definitely. After that experience, was it a year later? Was it a couple of months later that you had this realization, or was it several years later?
I think at the height of my success, I was my most miserable, because I had
Hmm.
exhausted every external material possibility and potential, and yet uh, was just sad because see, what the thing is, when success comes to you very early in life, there's nowhere else for you to go. There's nothing left for you. You've
Yeah.
exhausted every external material possibility and potential. So I had lived all of my dreams and reached all of my milestones at a very early age. And I realized that because at that point, my life was no longer about me. It was no longer about proving anything about myself or attaining something, or even being able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I did that. I'm now at a point where beyond that experience, I can see now how I'm so blessed in the fact that I've been able to continue to be of service and just support people. And that's what the whole thing was about in the first place. And
Hmm.
so, don't chase that golden carrot. Don't don't think in some way, shape, or form that success is the answer, or that more is better, because it isn't. Honestly, I would much rather people be happy and be fulfilled in who they are with what they have than chase some empty promise of something more or something greater that they believe is going to make them happier or better, only to find out that when you get there, it tastes like ashes in your mouth.
It's so